Hello everyone, welcome back. In our last class, we were discussing how to write a formal letter or an official letter. I hope you remember the format. The format is very important. If I am talking from the point of view of your examination, when you attempt a question to write a letter, what we teachers are examining is whether that student has followed the correct format. What is the format? First of all, you have to write your address, that is center's address, then date, then receiver's address, then introductory clause, that is respected sir or madam, like that, then subject, then main body of the letter, complimentary clause like yours sincerely, yours faithfully, etc. Then your signature and your name. This is the format. You have to imprint that format in your mind. This is very important. And all of you know that all the students are not well versed in English language. When we write, we do make mistakes. From the exam point of view, I told you the format is important, and after that, they will examine the content. If there are some errors, okay, they will neglect it. But if it is full of too much of errors, where you will lose marks. So, those who are not confident to write elaborately do not write like that. So, the ideal length of a formal letter, ideal length in the sense, ideal length of the main body, the content, which you can confine within 5 to 6 sentences. That is an ideal length. One of the students sent me a message. Miss, I'm not sure what to write. What should be the content? See, what was the question that we discussed in the last class? Write a letter to the principal of the college to enquire your admission status. Isn't it? So, in that case, you can write or you can begin that letter. Begin the letter in the sense, begin the content like this. With due regard, I am writing this letter to you to enquire my admission status. I have applied for BA English in Language and Literature in the management quota, and I haven't received any intimation from the college so far. So I would like to know about my admission status. Uh, so I request you to do the needful. This is enough because you have answered that question and you can avoid too much of errors. So if it is for a 15 marks question, if you write like this, you can easily score 12 to 13 marks. That is the maximum. Do not expect you will get 15 marks for a 15 mark question. This is the problem of language. If you are a science student, if you write all the points or if you solve the problem, definitely you will get full marks. But in the case of language, it is not like that. You already know. Okay. So this is how you can write the letter. So remember the format and the content is important. Uh, and from the our personal point of view, from our day-to-day experience, I would like to say one more thing also. When you write a letter to someone who is important in the sense to your boss or to the district collector or to the principal, remember if you write it so elaborately, if it is the content, if it is one page, they do not have the patience to read all those steps. because they are busy. So when you write an official letter, you have to confine it. Okay, it should be precise. In Malayalam, there is a phrase, "Kachi kurakiyadu." Okay, you know the meaning of that. So that is the ideal form of a formal letter. Today, I will give you some tips or some phrases that you can include in your letter. Okay, I think that will be helpful for you. Okay, let me share the PPT with you. Just a moment. And one more thing I would like to let you know that in case if you have any doubts or if you want to ask me something, you can personally call me or you can text me in the WhatsApp. Okay, this is the page from your textbook, language skills. I told you, you all must get it. Okay, here you can see the format of formal letter. Sender's address, date, receiver's address, salutation, subject, body of the letter, complimentary clause, name and address of the sender. Today, let's see. Before I move on to that tips, I would like to compare and contrast the difference between formal and informal letter. There are slight changes. In both the letters, you have to write sender's address, which means your address. The date is also important. After the date, in the case of formal letter, we write the receiver's name. But in the case of informal letter, there is no need to write receiver's name. Suppose you are my friend. Okay, we are friends. You are writing a letter to me because I'm your friend, I'm your close friend. So if you are writing a letter to me, if it is an informal letter, you have to write your address, your name and address, the date in which you have written the letter, and you don't want to write my name and address. But if you are writing a letter to me as a teacher of yours, that is a formal letter. In that case, you have to write my name and address. But if it is an informal letter, you don't want to write the receiver's name and address. Keep that in mind. Okay, just register these points at the moment you are listening that at the moment you are watching this video. Then you don't want to read it again and again. Save some time. Then salutation, it is important. In both cases, salutation is important. But in the case of a formal letter, how will you salute a formal person? Respected sir or madam. Or either you can write simply, you can write sir or madam. But in the case of an informal letter, there is no need to write respected and so. You can simply write hello, my dear friend, or hi, dear friend, or dear Adira. This is how you can write because this is informal. An informal letter, do we have to write subject? Do we have to write it? No, we don't want to write this subject. Then, body of letter. That also you can write in an informal way. Suppose I am the student of TKMM college and you are my friend and you wanted to ask me about your admission status because sometimes we seek the help of our friends. In that case, how will you write the letter? Will you write like this? With due regard, I am writing this letter. No, you can write like this. Hello, Adira. Hope you are doing well. How's college? You don't know, don't you know? I have also applied for the course in your college, but unfortunately, I didn't get any information. So please enquire please enquire it for me, and let me know as early as possible. This is how you can write. Yeah, you can follow an informal style because you're a friend. And in that case, you can even or ask personal questions. How was your studies? How's the college? Suppose if I get the admission, will it be good? And if you have any doubts or if you are tense, you can share your worries with your friend. But if you are addressing the principal of a college, you can't ask such type of questions or inquiries. Okay. Then complimentary clause that you can write yours lovingly. But if you are addressing the principal, don't write lovingly. Then you can write the name and address. You can again put your signature and your name if it is necessary. Uh, you can write your address too. At the end, it is written that if necessary, um, sorry, if it not necessary, add receiver's address in a box. If necessary, that is not necessary at all. Okay, just leave that. This is the format of writing an informal letter. So today, after this session, all of you write a letter to your friend who is studying at TKM college, and you can seek your friend's help to know about your admission status. Okay, and one more thing, uh, you all must keep a small notebook, especially for language skills. Okay, and you have to write the classworks given by all of us, all the teachers who are teaching this particular textbook language skills. You have to write it in that book. Okay, I am in charge of language skills. This because this is a campaign class. This is a campaign class. If it is campaign class or if it is a salt class, it doesn't matter. So all of you must keep a notebook for this textbook, for this course, and you all have to write the answers in that notebook. It will be really helpful at the end. At the time of examination, it will be easy for you to refer what you have written. From my own experience, I am telling you, I am giving you a tip. So I hope you all will follow this instruction. And let me move on to the PPT. Okay, this is the PPT that we were uh, discussing in the last class. Okay, so this is the last slide we have seen in the last session. Now I will show you some images, some letters, not images, some letters, and you just look at it and find the errors if any. So this is the first one. So this is a letter. It is a letter of complaint. And have you seen any error in this letter? Look at it carefully. No or yes. What is your answer? Yes, there are errors. Look, the first error is here. It is given the sender's address, but the name is not mentioned. So when you write a formal letter, you have to write your name and address. So the sender's name is not mentioned here. That is one error. The next one, where it has written, it is written in the right hand side of the paper. I forgot to tell you in the last class, when we write a formal letter or it is an whether it is a formal or informal letters, always it should be left aligned. Earlier when we write a letter, we used to write everything in the left align, but yours faithfully that complimentary clause should be right in the right hand side. No, that is wrong. Now we all are following, we all are typing the letters. So that is why there is a universal rule now. All the letters should be left aligned. Okay, so here the address and the date should be written in the left hand side, should be left aligned. Then, okay, next one is right. What is that? This is the receiver's address. Then, salutation, dear sir or madam. Sometimes you can write, dear sir. It shows the closeness. Okay, that is also respected sir or dear sir, both are right. The next error, what is that? Can you see the subject here? No, they haven't mentioned this subject. So, after dear sir or madam, we have to write subject. That is another error. I'm sorry. So, this is one of the examples. But the content is right. You can read it. You can pause the video and you can read it. Otherwise, at the end, I will share this PPT. This is another letter. This is the letter asking for information. Here also there are some mistakes like before. Sender's name is not mentioned, and it is right aligned. And here also subject is not mentioned. But at the right hand side you can see some tips. See, here you can see other useful phrases for asking for information. The question to enquire your admission status, that is asking for an information. In that case, you can include these phrases. I would be interested to know my admission status. I would be interested. Or please let me know. Or would you send me the details? Or I would be grateful if you could let me have or let me know my admission status. Clear? In these two letters, the content is correct, but the format is not right. But when you write a letter, you have to learn from these mistakes. Okay, you have to write a perfect letter with the correct format and correct phrases. Clear? So note it down. Note these phrases which will be helpful for you. Then things to remember. This is what I told you in the beginning of today's class. The useful phrases. Okay, if you are asked to write a letter of complaint, here you can see number of phrases. Please go through these phrases carefully. And those who are not sure about your language, your writing skills, you can study and memorize a few useful phrases like this. I'm writing to express my dissatisfaction with. Always you can begin a letter like this. I'm writing this letter for, or this letter to you uh, to express my dissatisfaction or to enquire. Okay, I'm writing. This is how you can simply begin a letter. I'm not reading all the phrases which is given here. You can read it by yourself, and if you want, you can note down a few useful phrases and by heart it and use it when you write a letter. Then in the case of informal letters, this is the another example of informal letter. Here also you can see some errors. See, the format is not correct. So when you write, you have to keep all these things in your mind. Okay, is everything clear to you? I hope everything is clear to you. So today you all have to write an informal letter. Okay, and keep it in your book. One day I will ask you to upload it, and I will give you a stipulated time. Suppose on Monday, maybe I will post uh, an assignment. I will post a question in your Google Classroom, and I will give you a stipulated time. For example, you have to upload the uh, formal and informal letters that you have written in the Google Classroom in between 3 and 3:30 p.m. We'll get a time. So those who haven't written, some students, they will try to write it in that time and will try to upload it, but that is not possible always. So write the answers at the time, uh, not at the time, write the answers in time and upload whenever I ask you to do so. Okay, so I am repeating once again, if you have any doubt, please feel free to contact me. And in case if you have any difficulties with my classes, you are free to express it in the Google form. We have a suggestion box, you can write it. uh, I always seek the suggestions from students, because I want to improve my lecture. My lectures are for you. I'm teaching for you. So if my lectures are not beneficial for you, then it will be useless. It won't be worthy. So I'm asking your feedback to improve myself and to help you. So that is what I have to say you in person. So see you in the next class. Thank you.